Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Enceladus Radio. Welcome to Off the Grid. I'm your host, Chris Johnson. One of the topics I want to get into today is Syrian refugees. There's an article I want to read. This is from the Sun Sentinel. Governor Rick Scott. It says Rick Scott joins ranks of governors opposing Syrian refugees in the United States. On Monday, Rick Scott opposed efforts to resettle Syrian refugees in Florida, and he also called for Congress to ensure they are denied entry to the Sunshine State. Scott joined governors in more than a dozen other states taking similar stands against resettling Syrians fleeing a civil war in their country in the wake of the terrorist attack in Paris on Friday. One of the perpetrators reportedly entered into France posing as a refugee. In a House letter to the United States House Speaker Paul Ryan and the U.S. Senator Leader Mitch McConnell, Scott said he's ordering Department of Children and Families, the state agency overseeing refugee services in Florida, not to cooperate with a federal request to place 425 Syrian refugees in the state. But fearing refugees could still be placed in Florida since the federal government controls immigration policy, Scott also urged Congress to pass legislation or to withhold funds for Syrian refugee settlement. President Obama has called for 10,000 Syrian immigrants to be allowed into the United States. In light of the migration crisis in Europe, war in Syria has led to the displacement of hundreds of thousands, swelling refugee camps in countries bordering Syria and leading to a wave of migrants in Europe. Please take any action available through the powers of the United States Congress to prevent federal allocations toward the relocation of Syrian refugees without extensive examination into how this would affect our homeland security. Since the Paris attack, the issue of Syrian migration has taken a partisan tack. Several other Republican governors, including in states such as Texas and Massachusetts, have taken stances similar to Scott's. Some Democratic governors in states such as Pennsylvania and Connecticut have said they would welcome Syrian refugees. One of the top Florida Democrats criticized Scott's move as a knee-jerk reaction to the Paris attacks. It's an example of a governor who has the build the wall mentality. Florida House Democrat leader Mark Padford of West Palm Beach, it's really rather sick what he's doing considering many of these people who may need the United States as children. Scott's administration, however, is skeptical that the federal government can thoroughly screen each Syrian applicant. We must use whatever power we have to refuse to accept these so-called refugees in our state, said Lieutenant Governor Carlos Lopez Cantera, who is running for U.S. Senate in 2016. According to statistics from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services Department, the number of applicants from Syria for refugee status ballooned from 36 the year before the war began to 1,582 in 2014. Overall, the United States has received more than 4,000 refugee applications from Syria since 2011 and approved 1,567. So the question has to be asked, with the recent events that happened, how do we know? How do we know? I don't think it's a knee-jerk reaction to question. We don't know. We really don't know. But what I can't understand is, why would the President of the United States allow this? What is going on? What is this about? We really don't know. We keep coming up with this war on terror, war on terror, war on terror. But yet we're opening up our doors? This makes no sense. There are people right now in the United States of America that are hurting, that are looking for work, that are looking for jobs. There are families here in the United States of America that need help. But yet we're willing to do this? Please understand something. I understand humanity efforts. I really do. But for once in our life, Can we take care of the people here in the United States of America? Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Enceladus Radio. Welcome to Off the Grid.